Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Steve Cover. I'm the Deputy City Manager for Public Safety here in the city of Virginia Beach. We're here this afternoon to talk briefly with you, reference some preparations the city of Virginia Beach has been doing to prepare for Hurricane Florence. We have been, over the weekend, doing some preparation and planning, getting our resources together, etc., for this potential catastrophic event that we may be facing here. We want to stress to our public that the city of Virginia Beach is well prepared to meet the needs of our citizens. However, we want our citizenry to know that we want them to be self-reliant as well. If you are in a flood-prone area, we want you to take note of that. Now is the time to prepare. I know you've been hearing that through the media over the weekend, and that's exactly what we are doing as a city of Virginia Beach. We want people to be as self-reliant as they can be. Because of the potential of this storm, we're not sure exactly how that's going to play out as time moves on. So be prepared, be self-resilient, and have a plan, just as we've been doing here in the city all weekend. With that, I'm going to bring Danette Smith up to talk about some of the work we've done with sheltering preparations here in the city. Danette.
Good afternoon. As you know, the Department of Human Services has been preparing for its shelters. We are looking at the number of shelters that have to be open, but for those persons that may have to consider shelter in the city of Virginia Beach, here are the things that we want you to consider that you bring with you to the shelter. Certainly we'll be giving you updates as the weather lets us know where it's going to hit or landfall, but we want you to consider the following things that you may have to bring to the shelter. A couple of things: bring your personal items, your bedding, your medication, important snacks that you may need, particularly if you have a health-related issue. We want you to be as comfortable as possible while you are in the shelter, so as many clothing, bedding, snacks, medications that you can bring with you to the shelter during this event was always good. I always tell people when we open the shelter, we want to have more than enough, so I would suggest that you look at 3 to 5 days of anything that you think that you may need to be able to utilize the shelter. Thank you.
Thank you, Danette. Next up, we're going to have Mark Johnson, our Public Works Director, talk to you about some of the preparation they've been doing in Public Works. Mark?
Thanks, Steve. Okay, Public Works actually started preparations Friday and Saturday of this past week. What we're really trying to do right now is increase the flood capacity of the city's overall drainage system. And we're doing that by pumping down some of the major lakes we have throughout the city, such as Sherwood Lakes, Asheville, Park Lakes, Pleasure House Lake. We will be pumping down the drainage system for Rosemont Forest, which drains over to Stumpy Lake. We'll be doing that in the next couple of days. We are also coordinating with the Little Creek Naval Base. They are drawing down Lake Bradford, so hopefully we'll get some more flood storage capacity in that area. We are also looking at all our pump stations to ensure that they are operating properly, and we are making sure that our generators associated with those pump stations are also operating properly and our fuel tanks are full, so we can be ready when the storm hits. We're also going through and looking at our major portions of our drainage system and checking for any blockages. If we identify any, we will be removing those. In addition to that, another side is transportation. We're coordinating with VDOT such that we can be ready should the word come out to evacuate. We will coordinate with VDOT on the evacuation plans. You'll also see Public Works Beach Operations starting to remove trash cans, ramps, and other objects off the beaches throughout Virginia Beach. We're also in the process this morning of building the sand berm around Little Island Grommet Park, so hopefully we can protect that. We're going to be looking at securing the Rudy Dredge when the seas increase, and we will probably start to pull out city boats probably tomorrow. Okay. We're also engaging our debris removal contractor. That is the contractor that comes in immediately after the storm and starts assisting us with removing the debris. And the whole idea is so we can move into the recovery effort as soon as we can. Also, we'll be coordinating with VDOT again because after every storm event, one critical thing is reestablishing the transportation system, getting all those traffic signals that are out back online so we can get the city up and running again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next up is Aaron Sutton from our Office of Emergency Management. Aaron?
So just to let everybody know, we will be activating the Emergency Operations Center starting tomorrow. Obviously continuing to monitor the storm and connecting with all of our partners, our military partners, our private partners, and making sure that we're all coordinating on the same page. Staff are going home and preparing and getting ready for this. We encourage you as Virginia Beach residents to do the same. This is the time to prepare. You have heard that message over and over, but we want to make sure that you are preparing yourselves, your families, and your property. Please make sure that you're securing the things around your property. Bring them in. If you do have storm drains around you and you feel like that there is a blockage, you can call 385-1470 so that they can come out to address that. Please remove any debris that you do see around them because that will help the overall stormwater system. Please start thinking now about staying or going. It's a bright sunny day. Make your plan today. Make your plan, get your kit, and by all means, please stay informed. Make sure that you have your chargers for your cell phones, that you get your preparedness apps, your weather apps. Make sure that you stay informed. We have 311 available 24/7 to answer questions, 385-3111 or 311 from your cell phone. Please remember that they can answer any questions, but if you have a life-threatening emergency, you may dial 911. Any other non-emergent, you may use 311. And finally, vbgov.com and all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, will continually keep everybody updated. So again, please make sure that you stay informed as this storm continues to wobble and we are trying to keep track of the track. Please make sure that you stay informed. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Finally, I'm going to ask Dave Hanson, our city manager, to step forward and close out this session. Mr. Manager.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, everybody. Been a busy day, as you can imagine. We got daily operations and a lot of activities going on in Virginia Beach. And lo and behold, all of a sudden we wake up on a Monday morning and yes, we do have a storm headed our way. And so our staff and our executive leadership, along with our city council, are actively engaged in figuring out how we're going to dissect the threat and then how we are going to be able to provide services and provide a safe environment for our citizens and our businesses. Clearly, we are faced with two tracks. You've heard that from the staff. The executive team is fully aware of what those two tracks mean. But in both cases, we are going to face a set of circumstances that we need to deal with. Clearly, we are going to have to establish some sheltering for our citizens. We are looking at a tiered approach that will take effect commencing Thursday morning with first tier being Kellum High School, Old Donation. We're looking at Corporate Landing Middle School, and we are going to open our medical assisted shelter at our field house located at Princess Anne Commons, Athletic Village. I think it's very important for folks that live in the Sandbridge, Back Bay, Southern Watershed that have had recent experience with regards to the southern wind tides. Folks that understand what a southerly wind is going to do to them and what extra precipitation, lots of rain, if you will, has done to them over the last 3 years. Because I believe before the day is out today, I will sign an emergency order declaring an emergency situation here in Virginia Beach, so that my city council tomorrow can approve that as is required by our ordinances, and will issue an evacuation order for the Sandbridge, Back Bay, and the Southern Watershed. In either of the two landfall scenarios, we believe those areas will be in a higher risk category than anywhere else in our city. We are working on a second tier of shelters that will open potentially Friday morning, should the conditions worsen, and the prognosis is that we will have greater rain and greater surge than is currently being predicted. So we'll have a second tier of shelters, and then we will have a third tier of shelters to open as early as Saturday morning, should those conditions present themselves. Our citizens are very adept at dealing with the volume of precipitation that we've experienced over the last 3 years. Our citizens are knowledgeable about what drainage area they belong to and what flood zone they are in. We certainly know that Zone A in the county is ripe for evacuation, and with the current landfall glide paths that we're looking at, we think it's reasonable to move forward with that evacuation declaration. We also believe that our public safety departments are fully prepared to support our citizens in times of emergency. But as Aaron just told you, it is incumbent upon every citizen of Virginia Beach to prepare themselves for the conditions which we are going to face here in Virginia Beach. We must know what our plan is for wading through the storm, or whether or not, because of the conditions that we have seen over the last couple of years, do I need to leave my place of residence? Do I need to relocate? Maybe I don't have to evacuate. Maybe I have to go find a friend that lives in higher ground. Maybe I have to go and make plans to move to one of the city shelter, so that I can wait out this weekend and see how the storm is. I believe the storm will move inshore. I believe the volumes of rain will be probably greater in the inner and western areas of the Commonwealth than it will be in Virginia Beach. And so I'm a bit hesitant to evacuate citizens out of the city, because I'm not so sure that the risk elsewhere in the state is not greater than here in Virginia Beach. We have a very effective stormwater system, and we do see that large volumes of water do run off into the receiving waters of the Bay and the Atlantic Ocean and the Lynn Haven and the North Landing. And in some cases, that runoff will be more effective here than maybe inland. So we are watching the way the weather forecasters are trying to pin down exactly where that landfall is and what that movement of the storm will be. They're saying that 5 days after landfall, this storm could still be presenting huge volumes of water in the Commonwealth of Virginia and North Carolina, and even moving further inland. And so taking our citizens and pushing them that far inland, I can't promise you that that's the best choice. So we are preparing to provide sheltering here in Virginia Beach, and we are going to analyze the forecasts as they emerge. I want to assure everybody who sees this to know that our staff is fully engaged, and that leadership here in Virginia Beach is too. And I'll take your questions.
To clarify on the Sandbridge, Back Bay, is that a mandatory evacuation?
Yeah, I think that's a choice people make. I can't make everybody evacuate. I can recommend that they evacuate. That is a choice that every homeowner, every citizen that lives there. But the citizens that are there, that are in Sandbridge, know what a storm surge is. They're watching the Weather Channel. They know how intense this storm surge is going to be. They know that the American track increases that risk as opposed to the European track. Those that live adjacent to Back Bay or down in the southern watershed, they know their first floor elevation. They know what the southern wind tides do. And they need to know that they have shelters that they can go to commencing on Thursday morning to start to move in that direction. But a lot of folks will wait till the last minute. It's just the way we are, unless I'm forced to do it. But they also know they're probably 20 or 30 minutes from Kellam High School, so that there is a place of safety. And so we will urge them to evacuate. To relocate might be a more strategic word, but the term is evacuation. Any other questions?
John in the back.
Hey, John.
Hey, Dave, just to clarify, so the recommendation is going to be that folks in Sandbridge and the southern watershed, largely the southern half of the city, especially along the bays, are going to be urged to seek shelter specifically at Kellam or to evacuate?
Well, I think they need to know that we are going to create shelters at Corporate Landing Middle, Old Donation, as well as Kellam High School. I can tell you that in the second tier, we think we're going to open Lansdowne High School as well. But we'll know more as the team develops that, and those will open on Friday morning. We hope that of the 100,000 individuals that we think live in the Zone A area of Virginia Beach, that if we're able to shelter about 15% of that, we will have ample shelter. Most folks have friends that live up on the Great Neck Ridge and other places that are much higher and much safer, and they will relocate with friends if they truly feel threatened. But folks really have to, they really do have to make a choice on what they're going to do with themselves and their family. Any other questions?
What's the maximum capacity that the city can have for the shelters?
Well, it depends how many we open. You know, I think our goal is always in a major emergency is to have some plans that could shelter between 10 and 15,000. My goal would be 15,000. It's hard to do, you know, depending on which schools we can get open and how much volunteer support we have to operate them. Yes.
Is that with the tier 1 or once you get into the tier 2?
Oh, that would be like tier 2
That would
and
be
tier
tier 2,
3
okay.
and tier 3. It's going to take 10 plus different shelters to even reach those kind of numbers. To include our assisted, medically assisted shelter at the field house. Any other questions? Like I said, they still have not pinned down where a landfall is. They have not pinned down the exact direction and impact that the storm will take when it hits land, and how fast and how intense it will be. So we need to remain flexible, but we do know that in all course of action, Sandbridge, Back Bay, and the southern watershed will be impacted significantly, and it makes prudent sense to start moving them in the right direction to make those personal decisions that they need to make. Thanks everybody for being here, I appreciate it.